Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from mortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear devotees, we are discussing the Vedantic text called Aparokshanubhuti. This is one of the basic text, though it is called basic text. Of course, it is sort of advanced. It is a middle, we can say, among the text on Vedantic philosophy or the non-dualistic philosophy. So now we were discussing the Atma Anatma Viveka, Astula Sharira Atma Viveka. What does it mean? It means discrimination between self and non-self. We are discussing between the discrimination between the self and non-self, and in particular, the discrimination between the Purusha or the self and the grass body, Stula Sharira. But now you are seeing this Shantivratananda, he has got this grass body. So every one of us, we have got grass body from which we eat, we sleep, we do all types of our activities, multifarious activities we do from this physical body. And we do mistake it for the self. So the author, the greatest renowned philosopher, the Adi Shankaracharya, is trying to tell, my dear, please don't mistake this Stula Sharira, the gross body, for the self or for the Purusha or for the Atman. In the 33rd verse and 34, I think, in one or two verses, he concludes this topic, that grass body is different from Atman, or the self is different from grass body. Aham vikara hinastu deho nityam vikaravan iti pratiyate sakshat katam syad dehakampuman. Sometimes when I read the Sanskrit verses and I try to split and give the English meaning, if some of you cannot follow, if you can't follow or if you don't understand, never mind. When I give the running meaning of this particular verse, and when I give the explanation for this verse, if you understand, that is more than enough. Aham, I, it is the first person, I. Vikara hinaha. Vikara means change, modifications. Hina means without, divide. So devoid of modifications or without any change or changeless. Two, but, so to differentiate, in the Sanskrit they use this word tu, means but, deha, the body, nityam, ever, vikaravan, it is subject to modifications, it undergoes changes. Iti, thus, pratiyate is perceived sakshat, directly, means it is our direct experience. Katam syat, then how dekahpuman, the Purusha can be the body, or the body can be the self. Now I, the Purusha, the self, the consciousness, in fact, from our direct experience, we understand that I or the self is without change, whereas this body, the physical body, is always, constantly it is undergoing changes. Then how can this body be the Purusha or the self? So here, the author is trying to explain us in a different way, or in another way, that the body has got different types of modifications. 6 types of modifications we have seen already. So the body has got different types of modifications, whereas the self or Purusha is changeless, devoid of modifications, and it is easily perceived and directly it is perceived. Then how do you mistake the self for the grass body or grass body for the self? So you are the self. Beyond this grass body, you are not the grass body. That's what author is trying to tell in this particular verse. In the 34th verse, again with the help of scriptures and all they are telling. Now in the 36th verse, we shall see, Asangaha Purushaha Proktaha Brodharanyake Apicha. Even from the scriptural point of view also, it is discussed. I think we have seen this. Yeah, sorry. Now from the 38 verses, we should supposed to start. I went for 2-3 verses behind. Proktaha pi karma kandena hi atma dehad vilakshanaha nityascha tat phalam bhumte dehapadan anantaram. Means proktaha api, it is also declared. Where it is declared? Karma kandena, the sacrificial portions of the Vedas. Hi Atma, since Atman, Dehad Vilakshanaha, it is different from the body. Nityacha, and also it is eternal. Tat phalam, the result of actions, bhumte, undergoes, dehapatat anantaram, after the fall of the body. Even if you see in the Veda, we have got 3 main divisions. One is Karma Kanda, that is the sacrificial portions of the Vedas. The other is Gnana Kanda, the essence of the Upanishads or the knowledge portion of the Vedas. And the third is Aranyaka. Aranyaka is something to do with upasanas, different types of worships, different types of meditations. Now, in the Karma Kanda, they are trying to discuss, it is also a knowledge, they try to discuss what is sacrifice, how to perform sacrifice, what are the rules has to be followed, and what are the verses or mantras has to be recited, when, how, why, and by doing particular sacrifice, what do I get it, the results of that sacrifice. Everything is discussed in generally. And if you see in the Aranyaka, the middle portion of the Vedas, in generally, there, the sacrifices has taken the form of upasanas, as a type of worship, as a type of meditation, mental worship. So whatever you do sacrifices, the same results or even the better results can be attained by meditation. Different types of meditations are told. Different types of mental worships are told in the Aranyaka. Slowly, the soul is, intellectually is getting evolved. And in the Gnana Kanda, that is the knowledge portion, here it is a philosophical portion of the Vedas. Here, the Rishi, the seeker after the truth, is trying to know, who am I? And how I came into this world? Who created me? And what is the nature of that creator? Did anyone create him? And whatever I'm seeing this world, which I'm perceiving, experiencing, what is the nature of it? So who am I? What is the nature of God? And what is the nature of this world? And these 3 interlink is nothing but the philosophy, isn't it? The whole philosophy is trying to discuss these 3 main components. And the knowledge portion of the Vedas, or the philosophical portion of the Vedas, that is called Gnana Kanda, it tries to answer these 3 main fundamental questions. Who am I? What is God? And what is this world? And what is the relationships between these 3? So here the author is telling, even from the Karma Kanda, that is from the sacrificial portion of the Vedas, even they, where they're always bothered about one has to keep on performing different types of sacrifices, different types of actions, and you have to accumulate punya, virtue, then after the death, based on the amount of accumulation of punya, you will go to heaven and you will enjoy your life there with the subtle body. And they're bothered about always punya and swarga, that is going to heaven, just like any Semitic religion says. In Islam and Christianity also, they all bothered after our death, we go to heaven if we are virtuous people. And if we create sin, if we perform sin, then we go to hell. So that's what even Karma Kanda, in a way, it says. So even such type of people who are always bothered about actions and sacrifices and all, even they also accept that there is an Atman, is an eternal Purusha, and he is different from the physical body. So from different schools of philosophy also, we can understand that Atman is eternal and the Atman is, or the Purusha, or the self, is different from the physical body. So the Adi Shankaracharya is trying to explain from different philosophical standpoints. So after the death, based on our accumulation of virtue and sin, we may go to heaven or the hell, the experience of heaven or hell. That means what? It assures, it confirms the rebirth. When we have got subtle body and causal body, other than the physical body, and after our death, based on our punya and papa, we may go to different worlds and we enjoy or suffer, or we may take different birth again to accumulate, to acquire virtue and sin. From this, the rebirth is rationally, scientifically also is explained from this sloka as an underlying argument. So the death means it is only change of an old cloth. Cloth means just like we leave this old cloth and we wear a new cloth. Similarly, death means I leave the the subtle body leaves this gross body, physical body, and it takes the new body, that is subtle body. So it is very clearly understanding from traveler eternal eye to non-traveler eternal eye. Because according to Karma Kanda people, the Atma travels from one place to another. Because for them it is sukshma, it is atomic in nature. Whereas according to the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, the Atman is sarvavyapi, all-pervasive. These people, they accept it is eternal, but it travels. And we say it is eternal and it cannot travel because it is sarvavyapi, it is all-pervasive. Now, in the 39th verse, the author is started to start new concept, that is the discrimination between the self and the subtle body. So what is this subtle body? If you ask me, then I will tell you that please go and listen to my Tattva Bodha classes. There in 1 or 2 classes, 2 hours, I dedicated 2 hours to explain more or less to what is the Linga Sharira, or what is the subtle body, and what is its components, how it is made up of, what it contains. Now here in this 39th verse, author is trying to explain that the self or the Purusha is different from the Linga Sharira or the subtle body. Lingam cha aneka sanyuktam chalam drushyam vikaricha avyapakam asadrupam tatkatam syat puman ayam. Lingam means the subtle body. Cha, even aneka sanyuktam. It consists of many parts. Chalam, and it is unstable. Drushyam, it is an object of perception. Vikaricha, and also it is changeable. Avyapakam, its nature is limited. It is not vyapaka, avyapaka. Asadrupam, it is non-existent by nature. Tat, so, katam, how, syat, can be, puman, that is Purusha, ayam, this subtle body. Means, even the subtle body consists of many parts, and it is unstable, and it is also an object of perception, and it is changeable, limited, and non-existent by nature. So, how can this subtle body be the Purusha? So here author is giving the logic that even the subtle body is different from the self, or the self is different from the subtle body. Both are not one and the same. Now, what is this subtle body? Swamiji, we have not heard Tattvabodha class. Can you tell in nutshell? Yes. The Sukshma, we have, according to the Vedanta or Indian philosophy, we have got three types of bodies. One is Stula Sharira, that is gross body or physical body. Then the Sukshma Sharira, that is subtle body. The third is Karana Sharira, that is causal body. Now we are here, the author is mentioning for Linga Sharira, that is subtle body. So what is subtle body? The subtle body has got 17 or 19 parts. It consists of 17 or 19 parts. So what are these 17 or 19 parts? One is 5 pranas, pancha pranas, then 5 sense organs of action, 5 sense organs of knowledge. So 5 prana, 5 sense organs of action, 5 sense organs of knowledge. So it altogether 15. Then manas and buddhi, rational faculty and also emotional faculty or doubting faculty. So it is called 17, according to the Tattvabodha. And in classical Vedanta, there are 2 more. One is chitta, the other is memory, that is memory, and there is ahankara, that is pseudo ego. So it is totally 19. Either you may say 17 or 19, it doesn't make sense. But only subtle body consists of these 17 things. So when I travel from one body to another means what? This subtle body travels from one body to another body. It leaves this body and it enters the mother's womb and it grows there. So Atman doesn't travel from one place to another. Atman never enters the mother's womb. It is only subtle body it enters. So this subtle body is called Linga Sharira. What is this Linga? Shivalinga we say. So Linga means, if you see the etymological meaning from that, if you see, Linga means it is just an indicator. It is a sign. Shivalinga, it is a sign which resembles, which represents, which indicates the Shiva, the God, one who is full of auspiciousness. Shiva means auspiciousness. Here Linga means it is indicator, it is a sign. So here contextually we have to understand that Linga Sharira means it is the subtle body. See, that's why we need gurus. That's why we need teachers. Or Linga means it is sign or indicator. Then how can you say that it has got so many avyaya, etc., etc.? Yes, here only we need a tradition or a guru. He will understand. Every word has got different shades of meaning. At which context, what meaning we have to take, you either by your deep understanding or with the help of guru or teacher, you'll be able to understand. Here Linga means, though its literal meaning is sign or indicator, here we should take it as the Sukshma Sharira, that is subtle body. So, and what is the nature of subtle body according to the author here? Aneka Sanyuktam. It consists of many parts, many components. So what are the components? I told already, 17 or 19. Chalam, and it is unstable. Why? Because one is it is ever change. There will be a lot of change in that subtle body, and also it travels from one body to another. Chalam, it is changing. It is unstable. Drishyam, it is an object of perception. Means, if you people are seeing me, though you are not in Air Vedanta society. Many of you people are sitting in your respective houses, in different countries maybe, but still you are seeing how? With the help of your eye. So now you are seeing Shantivratananda's body, physical body, that is Drushya, and your eyes are seeing, so that's why it is called Druk. It is perceiver, and I am the perceived. And when your mind is getting the knowledge of this Shantivratananda's physical form, through this eye, your mind is an observer or a perceiver, and the eye is perceived because through eyes. And the soul is getting knowledge through the mind. The soul is the perceiver, and the mind is an object of perception, or it is perceived. Druk Drushya. You should try to understand. When you are perceiving my form, I am the perceived and your eyes are perceiver. And you are getting the knowledge of my physical form through I. When you understand from your mind is perceiver and your eyes, external sense organ, is perceived. And when you are able to understand that you are getting the knowledge through the mind, you, the soul, or the Purusha, is the perceiver, and the mind, even the mind, is also the perceived. So here they are telling that the mind is part of what? Subtle body. The eye, sense organ, is part of subtle body. So these are all object of perceptions. That's what we are saying. So to make you understand, I took this example. And now I'm giving lecture on Aparokshanubhuti. You are all hearing and sitting at different places. One is from France, one is from Dublin, the one is from London, the other is from Ireland, and someone else from somewhere. And of course, it is relaying in YouTube. Some people may be seeing in the YouTube also, from different parts of the globe. And you are all hearing my words. So whatever you are hearing the words from, whichever is coming from me, that is perceived. So your ears are perceiver. So your ears are perceiving my sound, my talk, my speech. The speech is perceived and your ears are perceiver. And again, once your ears are perceived, ears are perceiving the information and it is sending to the mind, and mind is understanding what you are perceiving through the ear, the sound or the speech or the talk. Then the mind is perceiver and your ears are perceived. And you are getting the knowledge from the mind, the soul or the Purusha. The Purusha is the perceiver and the mind is the perceived. So the mind and the eye and the ears, all these things are part of subtle body. That means what? The soul or the Purusha or the self or the Atman is the perceiver, and the physical body as well as the subtle body is perceived. So that's what we are saying, Drushya. I am the Druk, the Purusha, the self or the I is the Druk, and the subtle body is an object of perception. It is perceived. So how the perceiver can be the perceived? It cannot be. So I am different from the subtle body, or the Atman or Purusha is different from the subtle body. So now the difference is becoming more and more subtler. If you can understand, now I am different from mobile, I can understand very clearly. I am different from the house where I am living, yes, I can understand. When I say that I am different from the body, my own body, physical body, I feel a bit difficult. Okay, little thinking and hearing some logic and all, somewhat we can understand. And now I'm saying that the subtle body, which is very subtle in nature, which we cannot see through our naked eyes, only we can infer or only we can experience. Based on our inference and experience, we are trying to negate that I am not the subtle body. At least physical body, you are able to see, you are able to touch, you are able to perceive very clearly. Whereas the subtle body, it is very subtle. You cannot see through your eyes, but only you can experience. And we are saying that you are different from even that. So the difference is becoming more and more subtler. So that's the reason sometimes for a few people, Vedanta becomes very difficult. Oh, it is a nut. It is a hard nut. It is very difficult to crack. Why? Because it is becoming more and more subtler. But the moment once you understand, there's a beautiful joy in it. For example, even if you see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, during his fragment of life, he had a cancer, throat cancer. He was not able to take anything food, and there was not a good medication in those days like now. And he had to suffer, and he had to become so thin, just skin and bones were left out. And he had become so weak, even he was not able to turn right or he was not able to turn left independently. He needs someone's help to turn his body. Such a weak body he had become. And imagine, If the same thing would have happened for us, we would have become morose. We would have sent mails, or we would have asked the people, the monks or someone, oh Swami, please pray for me. And we'll pray, keep on praying for God. We keep on feeling bad about it. That's fine. Yes, we do. We do feel that. We do experience that. But whereas the body was suffering, the body had problem, but Sri Ramakrishna was never morose. Sri Ramakrishna, he never felt unhappy about it. He never cried. He never thought, what will happen to me? The death is coming, death is following me. He never had any of this fear of death even. Why? He had very clear knowledge that he is not body, or I am not the body. So the moment when you understand this great and sublime truth, no one can shake you. Nothing can shake you in this world. Either the situations or the people, even the death comes, you will welcome and you don't get disturbed or you don't feel problem. Even at that so much, suffering, Sri Ramakrishna's body was suffering, no doubt. Sri Ramakrishna was suffering as in the body, but he had never had a morose face. Whoever has read the Sri Ramakrishna's life in depth, they will come to understand what I'm saying. How was it possible for him? Because he had very clear understanding intellectually, and of course he had an experience that I am not the body, neither the physical body, nor the subtle body, or even the causal body. So by studying Vedanta, what happens? My bank balance does increase. Do I get 2 horns? What happens? I can lead the happiest life, blissful life at given circumstances. The world will never change. The people will never change. The situations may not change, but I can live the happiest life. We are always busy in changing the people. We are always busy in changing the world. We are always busy in changing the situations. And after some time, we understand that we can't change much all of this. Only we have to change ourselves. That's why there's a beautiful prayer. Oh God, I was intelligent. Oh God, I was intelligent and I was trying to change the world. I was trying to change the world. Oh God, now I have become wise man. Oh God, now I have become wise man. Please help me to change myself. Please help to change myself. This is the difference between intelligent person and wise person or wise man or wise woman. So the change is subjective, then is not an objective most of the times. So when we study Vedanta, what happens? All the wrong understandings, delusion, wrong perceptions are cleared. The doubt gets destroyed. The ignorance gets destroyed. Then you can live the happiest life. That's why you have to study Advaita Vedanta or non-dualistic philosophy. So when you study that you are not the physical body, you are not the subtle body even, what happens? You can live the happiest life. Whatever it may come in the life, you will be able to face. So, and also from this, we understand very clearly how it is rational and how it is scientific. So now in a small child, child of 3 or 5 years, is an accomplished musician. He or she is a very good chess player. He or she is a good athlete, even in the young age we see. And some of us, we have tried hard, we can't. Why? Oh, God is partial. God has favored her or him. He or she, God didn't favor me. Sometimes we feel. And we keep criticizing God. Here we get a rational reason, logical reason is that because of her previous birth's impressions. Because in the previous birth, he or she has tried, put an effort in that particular way, maybe in the chess, maybe in the music, maybe in the sports. So he had a lot of experience. So it was embedded in the subtle body. So now when he or she took the new physical body, that's why it is manifesting, and he or she is able to pick up and do things fast, and there are accomplishments. And whereas I and you, probably we have got somewhere strength, we have to find out. And in the music or in the athlete, probably we are not able to. Why? We have not tried in this life or the previous life. Now we have started, we have to accumulate that excellence. So when his rebirth is assured, from this also, we can understand. And more than that, mind is tabula rasa. Greek philosophy, Greek or Roman philosophy, they say that. So it is wrong, it is irrational, or it is illogical. So every human being, every being, when it comes to earth, it carries couple of bundle of impressions, bundle of samskaras. That's what we say the nature. Why he or she behaves in a particular fashion? Because of the samskaras or the impressions created in this life more than that in the previous lives. And it is very rational and scientific. So our subtle body is the vehicle of our impressions. So that's why. And as I do keep on working, and so many impressions I'm accumulating, and so much change is happening. So one is Aneka Sanyuktam. This subtle body has got so many components, so many parts, and it is unstable, means it is ever changing. Like I am speaking and I'm performing actions, so my impressions are getting accumulated with the subtle body and I'm changing. And you people are listening to Vedantic talks, and your influence and your understanding, your thought process, action at the thought level is changing, and so that it is creating some impressions in your mind. Again, your subtle body is also changing. That is what when we mean chalam or unstable, or it is keep on moving, changing. Drushyam, an object of perception, you understood. Vikari, changeable. For an example, there is a water, and there's a huge rock in the river. River, there's a continuous flow. Now you test the water, and after a minute, if you test the water, is the same water? No. The water which, of course, the chemical composition is same, but the water which you test, and after a minute, it has gone, it has flown forward, and now you are touching, it is not the same water. Whereas the rock, it is same. Though there is maybe change in the rock composition or in the outer structure, little erosion may be there, no doubt, but in generally, it is the same. So like that, the self is always same, constant. There is no change in self. The change is there in the subtle body. That is what vikari, changeable. And avyapakam, it is limited. Whereas the self or the purusha or the consciousness, it is unlimited. Why? It is all-pervasive. There is no place where there is no consciousness, there is no purusha, or there is no self. Whereas the subtle body of the Shantivratananda is there in this physical body, and it is limited by time and space. Say 40 or 50 years before it was not there, after 40 or 50 years afterwards, this will not be there in this body. So it is limited in time and space also. Now I am in Dublin 15, I cannot be in Dublin 4. I am in Muladhar, I cannot be in Phoenix Park or neither, nor in the Wicklow Mountains. So I am limited. The subtle body is limited, whereas the Purusha or the self or the consciousness is all-pervasive and it is unlimited in time and space. And Asadrupam, it is non-existent by nature. Means existence according to the Vedanta, it should exist at all times. 10,000 years before, was it existing? Yes. Millions of years before, was it existing? Yes. Okay. Now, yes. After 100 years, will it exist? Yes. After 10,000 years? Yes. After millions of years? Yes. Then only it is called ever existing, or it is called nitya, eternal. Whereas the sukshma sharira, it is not so. When a person gets liberation, then that sukshma sharira gets destroyed. That's meant what? It has some expiry date. Maybe 100 years, maybe 10,000 years, never mind, but it has got expiry date. Isn't it? Whereas the Atman or the self or consciousness, there is no expiry date. Why? Because there is no manufacture date even. Even if, say, you people didn't get self-realization, if there is a pralaya, if the earth gets destroyed and we all get destroyed, our subtle body goes into the causal body, in the source form, in the seed form, but it doesn't get destroyed. Again, once creation starts, we again take birth and our cycle continues till our self-realization. But at least after self-realization, then this subtle body gets destroyed. It gets merged in the causal body, and causal body merges in the consciousness. Means it is limited by time and space, where this is the subtle body, whereas the self is not limited by time and space. It is eternal and it is all-pervasive. Then when there are so much contradictions, opposites, para and opposites, then, oh mind, then why do you think that you are the subtle body? Or how can you say that the Purusha, the self, or the consciousness is the same as Purusha, or the Purusha is the subtle body? It is not so. So you have to understand very clearly. After this, he is concluding here. So he took a lot of time to explain us in a different way that I am not the physical body, I am not the physical body, self is not the physical body, Purusha is not the self-physical body, because we have got so much attachment to physical body. Whereas subtle body, we may not be having so much attachment, probably. That is the reason near Adi Shankaracharya, the great philosopher, he finished just in one shloka, in one verse. And now he is concluding here, I am different from these two bodies. In the 40th verse. Evam dehad vedanya, dehad vedanya atma purusha ishvara sarvatma sarvarupascha sarvatito mahavyayam. Evam, thus. So in anywhere if you use this word thus means what? It is concluding. So therefore, we are going to say, this is what our stand. So evam, thus, dehadvayat, deha means body, dvaya means two. From these two bodies, fourth case, chaturthi vibhakti, from these two bodies, anyaha, different, atma. What is different? The atma. Different from what? Different from the two bodies. Purushaha, the Purusha, Ishvaraha, the Lord, Sarvatma, it is the self of all, Sarvarupa, it is having all types of forms, Cha, and also Sarvatitaha, it transcends everything. Aham Avyayaha, I am the immutable. So this immutable Atman is the substratum of this ego, and it is different from the two bodies, and that is Purusha, and that is the Ishvara. It is also called Ishvara, and it is the Lord of all, self of all. It is present in every form, and yet transcends them all. Here some philosophical things are there. It may take some time to understand. Now, first and foremost, very clearly, the Adi Shankaracharya, the great saint or philosopher, is telling that, okay, you are the Purusha, or I am the Purusha, and I am the different from these two bodies. What are the two bodies? Physical body, the gross body, and the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. I am different from these two types of bodies. That why, how we have seen in this, from 17th verse till 39th verse, almost 20 verses, he has explained that. Now we should not ask how and why. If you ask, I'll be in great trouble. And now you may feel, if you have heard of my Tattvabodha classes, and even in the previous sloka I was explaining, I said there is third type of body called causal body, which is the source of, which is the source of subtle body and physical body. Then why the author is not explaining that I am different from causal body? That means, am I causal body? No. It is understood here, the author is not explicitly, is not discussed that I am different from causal body even. So what is this causal body? After all, it is called ignorance. Causal body has got ignorance. Because of that ignorance, only the subtle body and also the physical body, the gross body comes. So when the effect has been removed, negated, even the cause is also negated. There is a logic. When the effect is negated, the cause is also negated. So the effect called subtle body and gross body is negated. So the cause, the source, the causal body is also negated. By that logic, you should understand even I am different from the third type of body called causal body. And here also, the author is trying to tell, one is that I am different from the body, and what I am not, and what I am, both is trying to tell, we have to understand. Now let us try to understand. One is, I am beyond these two bodies. I am not these two bodies means I am different from these two bodies, and I am at the same time beyond these two bodies. And what is but my nature? That consciousness. Purusha, Atman, or Brahman. Then, okay, so I am different from these two bodies. You are different from two bodies. Catherine is different from two bodies. Chaitali is different from her two bodies. Guru is different from his two bodies. Fine. That means just like we have got different bodies and we're all different from our bodies, so we have got all different consciousness then. So this logical question will come, whoever is hearing my lecture seriously and sincerely, if you are able to follow that link. Because I am different from my body and you are different from your body. That means what? I have different consciousness. You have different consciousness, is it? So this logical question or logical derivation may come into our mind. So to avoid that, the author is telling that we are all having different bodies, physical body, subtle body, and causal body, no doubt, but we are not having different consciousness. In the Sankhya philosophy, or in the Nyaya, Vaisheshika, in the Yoga, and the Purva Mimamsa, all these 5 systems of philosophies, they discuss, or even in the dualistic schools of Vedanta and the qualified monoism, all of them except Advaita, all of them accept that there are multiplicity of souls. There are so many souls they accept. There are so many Atmans. There are so many Purushas. But whereas Advaita philosophy, non-dualistic school of philosophy says that no, there is only one consciousness. Why? When you say sarvavyapi, all pervasive, how can you have so many consciousness? If you have got so many conscience, then how can it be all pervasive? If you say all pervasive and so many consciousness, so many atmas, so many purushas, that they are contradictory, it is tautology. It is against logic. So there is only one consciousness, but there are 2 types of different bodies. Now again, the logical question should come for all of you. Then how it is that we are all experiencing things at different times? Someone is experiencing happiness, someone is experiencing unhappiness, someone is nothing experiencing, it is neutral, and someone is experiencing sleep, someone is experiencing the food, delicious food, someone is experiencing the music. How do you account for that? We account because of reflecting medium. Now, there is a sun. We have got sun, fine. And we have got different types of glasses. One is small in size, one is big in size, one is in concave, the other one is convex, and some glasses are plain, some are colored with different colored glasses. As a result, the reflections are also different. The concave mirror, whatever it gives the reflection of the sun, and the convex mirror, whatever it gives the reflection of the sun, is totally different. And the green tinge colored glass, it reflects the sun green. Black colored glass will reflect the sun as a black, and different colors glasses will reflect the sun in different way. Then does it mean sun is different? Sun is bulky, someone is small, sun is bulky, sun is green, sun is black, sun is red, sun is white, sun is yellow. Do we say that? No. But our experience says that. Yes, but because of the different types of reflecting mediums, because of the nature of glasses, convex or concave, it is appearing different. And because there is a paint, different types of paints, different colored paints on the mirrors, so we are experiencing different colors attributed to sun. Our sun has got different colors. So similarly, there are so many mediums, reflecting mediums called mirrors, and we are experiencing so many suns. If there are 100 types of mirrors, we will experience 100 types of suns. So similarly, the human body, animals' body, reptiles or mammals, herbivorous, carnivorous, amphibians, omnivorous, or even the beasts or the insects, worms, all of them are different types of reflecting mediums. Just like one sun, 1,000 type of mirrors, 1,000 type of reflections. Similarly, we have got different type of creatures in this earth, and so many types of reflections are there. So because of different reflections, we cannot say that there is a different conscious. There's only one conscious. Because of different types of reflecting mediums, your experience or our experiences are different. So here you get very clearly that the consciousness is only one, but there are innumerable different type of reflecting mediums. So it is told very clearly here. So when you say Sarvatma, means is the Atman, there's only one Atma, is the consciousness of all the beings. So from the Sarvatma, so the self of all, so it is negated that there is no multiplicity of souls, there's only one soul. Then Sarvarupa, the only one conscious, it has got different types of forms, or it consists all types of forms, means whatever is existing. What is this all types of forms? Different types of bodies. That's what I mean to say. Then Sarvatita, it is beyond everything. Say for an example. Now, there is a pure water. There is a water, contaminated water. And somewhere the water, someone has put some poison. Okay, there's a poisonous water. And somewhere there's a ditch water. The sun rays are falling on the pure water, on the poisonous water, on the ditch water, on the dirty water. Then from that, does the sun rays or sun gets contaminated? No. The contamination is in the water. Though the sun rays are falling, neither the sun rays nor the sun gets contaminated. So similarly, the causal body or the subtle body or the physical body may get virtue and sin, papa and punya, good and bad, right, wrong, happy, unhappiness, all these qualities. But the self is beyond all these things, just like sun is beyond all these things. So I am beyond all these things. Purusha, the self, is beyond all these things. It is unperturbed. That's why Sarvatita. It is beyond everything. It transcends everything. Means everything means all types of bodies, all types of forms, all natures. And also when you say Sarvatita, means it also spatial distance. Generally it comes, when you say Sarvatita, it is beyond, means okay, so the Atman or the self is beyond, means okay, it is above overhead, it is in the sky, or it is above the sky, or it is beyond the sky. When you say God is beyond all these things, immediately we say, okay, God is beyond the sky, is in the heaven, is in the throne, sitting on the throne, and is ruling us. Such what a primitive concept of God we all have got. Even Semitic religions also say, dualistic schools of philosophy also say that. No, but that is primitive concept. It is not so. God is not above the sky and where he is sitting in the particular world or in the particular throne. No, it is a primitive concept. It is a kindergarten of religion, you can say. The God is all pervasive. God is everywhere. Is in a Vedanta society? Yes. It is in your house? Yes. It is in the park? Yes. Is on the Tara Hills? Yes. Is in the Wicklow Mountains? Yes. Is in your professional workplace? Is there everywhere. Is all pervasive. So what you mean by when is beyond means is not perturbed. So similarly, God, self is also all pervasive, but self is not perturbed by all these things. And one more is beyond means it is subtler than all of these things. It is beyond, it is subtler than that. It is not affected and it is subtler. That's what. How to understand it is not affected? If you see the whole old theaters, there used to be a white screen, a big screen, and people, the person used to project and we used to see the cinema, film. Okay, suddenly there was a particular incident where in the film, the whole house or the whole village got into fire. The whole village burnt into ashes. Oh my God. And after the film, if you see the screen, whatever before starting the film, after the end of the film, the screen is same. The whole village got burnt, but the screen never got burnt. Why? Because it is not perturbed, it is not changed. The change was only in the projection, but not on the screen. So similarly, when you say it is beyond, it is unperturbed. So just we can understand this. It is not affected by anything. The cinema screen is not affected by burn. Or if there is a situation, there is a huge sea and people got drowned, and so then the screen, if you go and touch, will it be wet? No. I saw the sea, I got wet, or the people got wet, then why the screen didn't get wet? We all know why. And it is also changeless. There's a lot of change in us, physical body, and even in the subtle body, whereas the Atman or the Purusha or the self or the consciousness, it is beyond the change because it is changeless. It is immutable. It is free from all types of modifications. So one is there are different type of reflecting mediums called subtle body. That's why there are got different types of, people, animals, creatures are living beings. But you cannot, from this, you cannot say that, conclude that I am different from these two bodies, physical body and subtle body, no doubt. But at the same time, we cannot say that we have got different consciousness, every one of us know. Only one consciousness, but a number of reflecting mediums. And what is the nature of this subtle body and what is the nature of self? We have tried to understand from here. So here the author ends the discrimination between the body and the self, Atman and Anatman. Next, from words, he starts explaining even the self is different from the world, or the world is different from the self. So because who am I have understood now. So what is the nature of the world I have to understand. From the 41st sloka, the author tries to tell what is the nature of the world and how I am different from the world, or how I am beyond this world. Whatever the empirical world we are living in or we are experiencing. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.